right. Hi, guys, and welcome to Word of the Day Wednesdays. I am author Nicole D. Miller, and this is my debut novel, When Love Wins. When Love Wins is the story of two young female cousins with a rift in their relationship. When Natalie, the faith based social justice advocate writer, loses her mother, she moves in with her cousin Ashley, the free spirited fashionista urban socialite. But instead of a warm welcome, she gets an icy cold one from Ashley. Could it be Ashley is not feeling that her ex Darren likes Natalie? Maybe, or are there deeper rooted issues from their childhood? To learn more, you can go to whenlovewins.love. All right. So let's get started. You guys know every week I piggyback off of my latest blog. Unfortunately, last week, again, the week got away from me. So I missed doing a Word of the Day Wednesday. So now you guys are going to be treated with a two for one. So last week I released a blog called Blind Love. And it was kind of inspired by a show called Love is Blind. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with that show. If you look at my stories, you know I've been on this track with watching Love is Blind. And I kind of talk about the idea of marrying someone that you barely know and being engaged to someone that you've never seen. Because that's the concept with Love is Blind. So on this show, these couples are getting to know each other over a 4 week period, and they end up getting engaged after that time of conversation while they do not see each other. Like they have no idea what each other looks like. And then they decide to meet after the engagement, and that's when they choose if they're going to get married. What I talk about in this blog is this concept really so unique? Like when we look at other cultures with arranged marriages and that type of thing, I feel like there's some similarities, and what I share in the blog is just even biblically speaking. I was looking at the story of Rebecca. So Isaac loses his mom Sarah, and his father Abraham tells the servant, like, "Hey, Isaac needs a wife. I want you to go to my hometown, get him a wife." And the servant says a prayer, like, "Lord, whoever is called to marry Isaac, I want her to feed all of these camels." And Abraham is a very wealthy man, so he has like 10 camels. And so the servant comes across Rebecca, and like she's such a G. This is like what stands out to me in this whole story is she goes and waters or feeds water to all 10 of these camels. And I'm trying to picture this woman. I don't know how far the well is, but I'm thinking this has got to be so heavy for her to be carrying these buckets of water going back and forth for all 10 of these camels. So basically that was the symbol that the servant needed for Rebecca to be the one. But what really stands out to me is Rebecca's blind faith. Like I like that her family left it up to her as to where whether or not she was going to go back with the servant, because back then we know women didn't have a lot of rights. And so the family wanted her to stay 2 more weeks, but the servant is like, "I got to get back. Like we cannot be out here lollygagging for 2 weeks." So they said, "Well, let's hear from Rebecca. What does she want?" And Rebecca says, "I'll go back." And I was like, man, that just really stands out to me. And then on top of that, when they're approaching Isaac, she asks the servant, like, "Who is that man?" You know, it's like she don't even know who her husband is. But I believe she was hearing God, and so she moved in faith in that way. And I just kind of attributed that to the whole love is blind concept. You know, if you really believe something is for you, even if it's very unorthodox or non traditional, it could be faith, it could be God, you know. So that was that. The next blog I wrote that I just released this week is The Grit Behind the Grind. Now, in this particular blog post, I share about an experience I had last week where I was invited to speak to college, or not college, high school students for a career fair. My good friend Alicia Ellis invited me. Special shout out. And I had a divine connection with a young woman named Adriana. Oh, she was like a beauty, like inside and out. She was a vision. But getting there, let me tell y'all, like I kind of joke about it and I talk about being direction handicapped. Like, thank God for the GPS because my sense of direction is horrible. Like, I've lived in Cleveland forever, I still get lost. Thank God for GPS. So, But even outside of that, because other people who are more skilled with directions, they still were struggling. Like finding this place downtown, my GPS had me circling 3 times, just trying to get to the location. I finally get to the location and I park, and I have like 50 pounds of books, you guys. Like literally, like I put my books in my suitcase, and that's how I will to my events, so I don't have to carry them in my back and all this stuff. And I'm feeling ambitious, like, okay, maybe I'll get a like partner, an organization. I want to buy all these books. So I'm wheeling my books. All of a sudden, I notice I'm going uphill. Like I'm going on a slight incline. And it was probably an incline, but for me, it felt like a hill because I have these books. On top of that, it's raining. So it starts raining. I'm like, okay, I'm out here. But I know what this is. It is the process. I think on social media, and like publicly, you see the successes, you see the highlights, you don't see the process that's happening underneath, right? And so as entrepreneurs, if you're an entrepreneur, we're going through so much behind the scenes, and I recognize it as character building, especially with endurance. So I'm going up this hill, it's raining, I'm carrying 50 pounds of books, I'm looking at my GPS to make it to my location, which thankfully isn't that far. And so I get there and I'm like, I am not about to go down these stairs with this suitcase. Where is the elevator? Like, I can't find the elevator. Finally, find the elevator, get downstairs, gotta look for our table. Finally, get our table. I get settled. Use the bathroom because that was a thing. I ate breakfast, which they had complimentary breakfast. And I keep forgetting I'm vegan. It's the funniest thing. Like I don't eat meat, I don't eat animal products, but I forget when I'm out and I have to like switch my mindset. Like, Nicole, you can't have that. I'm really good at like cooking at home. So cooking is the best option, I feel like, if you want to be vegan and healthy. And I've talked about this in other lives. So I do all that. I'm settled. The kids are coming. They're very engaged. I see some old friends, great fellowship, great conversation. One woman in particular I talk about, Adriana. She's just like a vision, life affirming, all that. The event is amazing. We talk to the kids. They're very engaged. It was very purposeful. Leaving, however, was its own situation. So definitely didn't sell those books, didn't make that key partner. So I had most of my books with me. I leave and it's still raining outside. So I go outside, struggling with my little suitcase. But this time I find the garage a little faster. Do you know the elevator is like not working? So I'm like, why is this elevator not working? It was just working. It's not working and it's only 2 to 3 hours later. So I tell the parking attendant, and she just looking at me crazy. I'm like, the elevator doesn't work. She's like, it doesn't? No, ma'am, it does not work. Like, she's like, okay, well, I'll tell so and so. I'm like, well, that ain't helping me. So I'm looking like, there's no way I'm carrying this suitcase down the stairs. It's not gonna happen. So I did find some stairs where it didn't take me all the way down. So it was just like one floor. So I kind of finagled my way down. Then I'm looking for my car, and I'm lucky that I did take a picture of like where I parked. Again, if I'm like struggling with directions, same thing with the car. So I'll be trying to take pictures of like, where's this car? So I'm looking for C3, C3. I see A3, I see B3, no C3. I'm like, why? What is happening? I finally found C3, but I still don't find my car. I'm like, why can't I find my car? It should be here. So this security guard, who clearly does not want to do his job because he tried to ignore me, but I'm like, sir, I see you. Like, help me. And so I'm like, I'm looking for C3. He's like, well, what color is it? I'm like, oh, okay, so it's colors. He's like, you got to go down the flight. So I finally go down. At this point, I'm hungry. I'm tired. It's raining. I have a 3 o'clock appointment that I need to prepare for, but I'm an introvert, so I want alone time before this appointment. So I finally get home, resting, reflecting, have the 3 o'clock appointment, knock it out the park. It's amazing. Take my nap. But as I'm laying there thinking about the events of the day and thinking about all of the obstacles that I went through before and after this event, one person was on my heart, and that was Adriana, and I knew all of it was worth it. And so I just felt like that was the Father's heart towards us. It's like he will leave the 99 to get to the one. So often there are all these hardships and obstacles and da 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 that we go through, and not understanding that like he is with us, through all of those tests and trials, and he goes through it with us. And he went to the cross for us. So I felt like that was a picture. Anyways, if you would like to read that blog, even though I kind of just said all of it, go to NicoleDMiller.com, subscribe. I do weekly blogs, I do weekly updates, and I do monthly newsletters. Now, you guys know we have Girl Talk coming up. I'm super excited. Hopefully, you guys have caught some of the lives we've been doing with the panelists. We have one more coming up with Miss Gloria Terry. That's going to be tomorrow. I honestly don't remember what time, but catch the flyer. I just posted it on my Instagram. And these women have just been giving the jewels. Like, I love the meatiness of the dialogue. They're all heavy hitters. So come through. It's going to be Sunday, March 24th, 6 to 8. The topic is taking care of us. So we're talking about women's health. It is Women's Month, so celebrate us. We should be looking at chances to celebrate us anyway. But here's another opportunity. So it's going to be at Unbar Cafe. Unbar is one of our sponsors, along with Mas and Teen Enterprise. Drink tickets are available as well, and regular tickets. Both are on Eventbrite. So I hope you guys enjoyed Word of the Day Wednesdays. I hope you can make it out to our next Girl Talk, and I will see you next week.